Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Restart by Gordon Corman, our author of the month, right? Looking forward to meeting this fellow at the end of the month when he comes to visit us here in Fayetteville. All right, so when we last left Chase, he was at the football field. He was there to video this scrimmage. That means it's kind of like a preseason game, kind of like a practice game, if you will. And so he's there. His dad is there. We find out that his dad has not missed a game since the time he was in high school or middle school until now. So for 25 years, this guy has been going to these games. So he's like a big fan, isn't he? And his daughter, Helene, was with him at the game. But I want you to think about the interaction between the dad and Helene. Do you think Helene was really enjoying herself at the game? Do you feel like she was getting any attention from her dad? I don't either. That makes me curious about dad's priorities. What does dad think is most important? Is it his kids or is it football? I wonder. We also discovered Chase had a memory returned to him. He remembered ripping the head off of Helene's favorite teddy bear. Wow, that says a lot. And I think that explains why she was so freaked out by him, after the accident. There's a lot. We're really peeling back the layers on Chase, aren't we? I'm finding out a lot about him, and I don't really like what I'm finding out. I don't know that Chase likes what he's finding out either. So we find ourselves here on chapter 9. All right, today we're going to talk about 9 and 10. And this chapter, again, is told from the perspective of Chase. Let's pay attention and let's see what other clues we can find out about Chase and his former life. Chapter 9 starts on page 68. I'll give you just a second to get there. All right, I'm ready to go. Are you? Chapter 9, Chase Ambrose. After the scrimmage, I head down to the locker room and get some player interviews. I arrive just in time to see Aaron slamming the heavy metal door in Hugo's face. Remember, Hugo is one of the vidiots. He staggers backwards straight into me and lets out a whoop of shock. Hey, take it easy, Hugo, I tell him. It's just me. Hi, Chase, he manages, his voice faltering. That means his voice was unsteady. I'm trying to shoot some footage of the team. He hefts his own flip cam. I thought Ms. DeLeo put me on that, I tell him. Oh, sure, totally, he said quickly. We were just afraid that you might, forget. What do you mean, forget? I ask, a little annoyed. He retreats a step, blushing and looking plenty worried. No offense, he stammers. Before I can reply, the door opens, and there's Bear. Ha! I told you it was his voice, he shouts. He hauls me inside, shutting Hugo out again. Hey, Hugo's with me, I protest. Ha ha! Good one, says Bear. Bear laughs. No, seriously, we're covering the hurricanes for the video yearbook. So, Hugo gets in with me. He's grateful, but it doesn't make him very happy. He acts like he's tiptoeing around a minefield. Now, a minefield is this field where there are bombs buried out there. It's an old war tactic, and it's kind of a way to kind of booby trap a field. And so when people walk across it, if you step in the wrong place, a bomb goes off. And so that's what Hugo was feeling like when he was in the locker room. He felt like one wrong move, and it was over for him. How scary. I get some high fives. I'm at the top of page 69, second paragraph. I get some high fives, but the team's not in the best spirits. After all, they just got steamrolled. That means they lost. And when it sinks in that I'm there as a reporter and not there to give them the good news that I've been cleared to play, they can't hide their disappointment. Well, I can't see anything wrong with you, Joey complains. I mean, you're not even in that shoulder sling anymore. I get it. Joey laid an egg at quarterback today. That's a figure of speech. That means that he did not do a good job. If you say somebody laid an egg, it means they did not do a good job. Kind of zero success. I get it. Joey laid an egg at quarterback today. A good running game would take a lot of pressure off of him. It's the concussion, I try to explain. The doctor wants me to be really careful. Landon Rubio, the kid with the giant neck I saw on the first day, glances dubiously, there's one of our words, glances dubiously from Hugo to me. So you have to miss a few games. Yeah, but what gives with him? Hugo attempts to point his camera and is beaten back by a hail of dirty sweat socks. I bristle. So the video yearbook is doing a segment on every sports team, including golf and badminton. So when you're not in it, don't come crying to us. Yearbook? Joey echoes. Bad enough you're off the team. Now you're on the yearbook staff? Video yearbook, Hugo amends. A snapping towel, whack-ow, nearly takes his ear off. Guys, chill out. Aaron steps between the other players and Hugo and me. It isn't our boy's fault that the doctor's a wuss. Cut him some slack. Page 70. Well, that doesn't explain why he's running around with the video losers, Landon challenges. He's not running around with anybody, Aaron explains reasonably. He's covering the Hurricanes, man. Make sure we look good in that yearbook thing. That's how he's helping the team while he's on the sidelines. Yeah, Rubio, snorts Bear. If I had a face like yours, I'd appreciate anyone who could make me look good. So shut up. I jump in as the peacemaker. This is Chase talking. Hey, believe me, guys, I'll be back as soon as I get the word from my doctor. This makes the team happy, I can tell. Hugo shoots me a strange look, but how can I expect him to understand? He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who plays sports, except maybe video games. Joey chucks a ball my way. I watch almost as a spectator as my hands reach out and snatch it from the air. Reaction time. A-okay. It feels good. Like I'm back to an old self and back to an old self that amnesia couldn't quite rob me of. We do a few interviews. The guys are chatty with me, hamming it up for the camera like I'm running a selfie service. Hugo gets mostly one-word answers. When I notice, he mumbles that we can fix it in editing. I don't see how any amount of editing can fix the question. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts for the upcoming season? Answer. Good. So he's saying, the football players are not being very conversational. Then again, I'm just the newbie. Nobody even trusts to show up for my first video club assignment. When we're done, Hugo can't get out of there fast enough. This is hostile territory for him. But me? I feel like I'm home. Well, I'd love to talk your ear off about my road to NFL glory, Aaron drawls. But Bear and I have to go water some old people. Wait, I'll go with you, I tell them. They stare at me like I've just announced that I'm flying to Jupiter. Dude, you don't have to go, Aaron reminds me. They cut you loose because you got hurt. It'll be fun. Okay, now that part falls flat, so I tried again. I mean, we're teammates, right? Yeah, you go, I go. Bear's eyes narrow. Exactly how much do you remember about the Graybeard Motel? Nothing, I reply honestly. He grins. If you want to go there when you don't have to, If you want to go there when you don't have to, you didn't just scramble your brains. You knocked them out completely. Come on, how bad can it be? I'm semi-joking, but these two are stone-faced. That stone-faced means like expressionless, like no expression. These two are so stone-faced that I start to wonder. Yikes, what is this place? Frankenstein's Lab? Your call, Aaron says. It'll be good to have you back with us, even if you are nuts. Bottom of page 71. The Portland Street Assisted Living Residence is about a 10-minute walk from school. All right, guys, so the setting has changed. Now these guys are going to do their community service at the assisted living home. It's kind of like a nursing home. The residents there, the people that live there, are a little more independent than a nursing home, but it's a place where older people go to live, and there are nurses there to help them, but they're fairly independent. They're still kind of up and moving around. It's not like a hospital. The Portland Street Assisted Living Residence is about a 10-minute walk from our school. I know I was on community service here before, but the place is brand new to me. It's a boring 3-story building with a wide circular drive and a broad landscape front. Page 72, up at the top. Broad landscaped front dotted with benches and outdoor picnic tables. There are several elderly people outside enjoying the warm weather. A couple of them wave and call out greetings to us. I wave back. Aaron and Bear ignore them. As the main door slides open in front of us, Bear mumbles, "Hold your breath." There's an odd combination of two smells that don't mix. Fresh flowers and hospital-like antiseptic. It's kind of like a cleanser. Not great, but you get used to it in a hurry. We report to Nurse Duncan, who's the head nurse on duty. She's surprised to see me. I got better, I tell her, so I figure I should finish off my community service. The court told you that? She asked dubiously. There's that word again. The court told you that? She asks dubiously. I shake my head. I came up with it on my own. Yeah, we don't believe it either, Aaron jokes with mock solemnity. That's very noble, Nurse Duncan says. Well, I've got you boys on the snack cart today. It normally doesn't take 3, but we'll give Chase a soft job on his first day back. We get a rolling cart laden with juice boxes, cookies, crackers, and free newspapers. By the time we get off the elevator on the 3rd floor, Aaron and Bear have helped themselves to half of the merchandise. Believe me, they have more Oreos than these mummies could ever gum down, Aaron says when I look disapprovingly. And I assure you, oh perfect one, you've sampled plenty of these cookies off this cart. So he's saying, like, you may not remember it, but you used to eat these cookies too. Quit looking at us like we're doing something wrong. But aren't they doing something wrong? They're stealing snacks from old people. Top of page 73. I reach back for a snack-jacking memory, but come up empty. I'll just have to take his word for it. Bear tears open a bag and dumps a small pile of ginger snaps into my hand. I take a tiny bite, glaring at my partners in crime who are chowing down in a blizzard of wrappers and crumbs. Hey, we played football. We played a football game this morning, Bear reminds me. You work up an appetite. Not everybody's too delicate like you. Well, I guess I'm not too delicate to bend over and pick up your garbage, I snap back. I might be getting the hang of being friends with these two. We go door to door offering the residents snacks and papers. When I was in the hospital, all the staff and volunteers who came into my room were really nice and friendly. Well, Aaron and Bear were the opposite of that. Aaron's the polite one. He flings the door wide and barks, "Snack cart!" This followed by a "What do you want?" by Bear. They call all the men Dumbledore and all the women Dumbledora and respond to any questions with a combination of shrugs and grunts. When I can't stand it anymore, I ask what I can do for everybody and usually end up adjusting bed heights or searching for lost TV remotes and occasionally calling nurses. You're slowing us down, man, Aaron complains. At this rate, we'll never blow this Geritol stand. Geritol, by the way, this is a little joke for older people. Geritol is the name of a vitamin that's especially formulated for our older friends. And so that's what he's saying, that this is like an old person vitamin factory. He's just being really rude. Quiet, I hiss. They'll hear you. You're joking, right? Bear sneers. Most of these old people, sorry, top of page 54, most of these old fossils can't remember to change the batteries in their hearing aids. The last thing any of them heard was the A-bomb test at Yucca Flat. They're not as deaf as you think, I shoot back. The lady in 212 definitely heard it when you ripped one in her living room. Aaron laughs. Ah, now that's the Chase we know and love. Okay, now those jokes are funny when it's the three of us. Not so much when old people are around. Most of them are pretty frail. That means kind of delicate. Kind of their bones are getting brittle. They don't get around as well as they used to. Most of them are pretty frail. They definitely deserve more respect than they're getting from us. Maybe Aaron and Bear ran out of patience because they've got no choice about community service, and I'm up here on purpose. Maybe I was out of patience too before my amnesia made me forget about it. But I find their residents kind of interesting. They remember stuff in real life that you can only read about in history books. There's this lady in 326 whose father was one of the firemen on the scene in the Hindenburg disaster. You got to check that out. We'll talk about the Hindenburg disaster in class. Remind me. The guy in 318 was a communications expert at Houston Mission Control when Neil Armstrong first set foot on the moon. In room 209 lives a guy who's totally blind, yet he tells the most vivid stories of growing up 2 doors down from the Baseball Hall of Famer Joe DiMaggio. The rule is that if someone is not in or sleeping, we leave a juice box and a packet of cookies on the table. The man in room 121 is snoring enthusiastically in an easy chair when I notice the black and white photo on his nightstand. It's a picture of a young soldier bowing his head to receive a military decoration from an important-looking man with round, steel-rimmed spectacles. So round, steel-rimmed spectacles is another way of saying the guy had round, metal glasses. Page 75. Is that President Truman? I whisper. Aaron looks bored. Who cares? Let's get out of here. If this Dumbledore wakes up, he'll talk your ear off. But I'm hooked. The only medal you get straight from the president is the Medal of Honor. This guy's a hero. Big deal, Bear scoffs. Back in the day, there were so many wars that they handed out medals like Hershey Kisses. He's saying like everybody got one. Big deal. I sigh and I start to follow them out of the door. I wonder what he did. They don't just give out the Medal of Honor for just any old thing. He probably slew a triceratops or something. If you slew something, that's the past tense of slay. So they're saying he might have killed a triceratops or something. Talking about how old he is. Aaron suggests with a shrug. Come on, we're almost done. It was a pterodactyl, comes a sarcastic voice from behind us. We wheel around. He's sitting up now. An elderly man, a little bent in the shoulders with a shock of white hair. And I slew it with my stone knife. I step forward. Mister, that's you in the picture, right?
No, it's Harry Truman. Can't you see that I'm busy? Takes me a half an hour to get out of bed and twice that to haul myself across the room with this stupid walker.
You know, that walker is that thing that older people use to help them get around. He's obviously not busy. He just wants to be left alone. Maybe he doesn't like us very much. Apparently, not all of the residents are hard of hearing. Aaron and Bear are already slouching out of the room. Sorry, I mumble, following them out into the hall.
Hey, you got a lot to learn, Ambrose, Aaron tells me. Get one of these Dumbledores talking about his war days and you'll be here until you're as old as he is.
Page 76. I have to admit, it's probably good advice. All right, I say. Let's just finish. We work our way down the hall to the last room on the floor. Almost done, Aaron groans. Just Cloud 10 and we can get out of here. Cloud 10? I echo.
You're gonna love this one, Bear assures me.
You know Cloud 9?
All right, well, this old bag's at least one cloud up from that. Half the time she's convinced this is some fancy hotel and we're room service.
I see their point, but I feel kind of bad for Mrs. Swanson, who bustles around her living room in a frilly pink dressing gown dotted with sequined flowers. She's obviously losing touch with reality, and there's nothing hilarious about that. At first, she thinks we've come for a visit. She asks us to move, and then she asks us to move her furniture into what she calls a conversation grouping. Aaron and Bear ignore her, but what harm will it do, really? So I shuffle a few chairs, no big deal. My friends are mugging at me behind her back the whole time, trying to make me laugh. Like if you're standing behind her. And so he's, Chase is really trying to be sincerely nice to this older lady, and Aaron and Bear aren't really participating. All right. Sorry, I lost my place. So there I am. I found it. Aaron and Bear ignore her, but what harm will it do, really? So I shuffle a few chairs. No big deal. My friends are mugging at me behind her back the whole time, trying to make me laugh. They might be the smart ones. By the time I'm finished, I'm sweaty and breathing hard. Mrs. Swanson is looking at me like she's too polite to ask me who I am and why I'm rearranging her apartment. Aaron and Bear are snickering out loud now. We drop off her cookies and juice and head for the door, but she comes bustling out of us, waving her pocketbook. She digs around, comes up with a $20 bill, and offers it to me. "Don't leave without your tip," she says. I take a step back. "Oh, no, I couldn't accept." Before I can manage another word, Bear's meaty hand snatches the money away. "Enjoy your stay," he tells Mrs. Swanson with a big phony smile. And he's out the door like a shot, Aaron hot on his heels. I catch up to them in the hall. "You can't take that money. That's like stealing." "No, it's not," Bear replies. "She gave it to me. Actually, she gave it to you, but you were too dumb to take it." "Yeah, but..." I fumble for the right words. "You know as well as I do that lady's not all there." "It's discrimination," he says righteously. "I'm not biased against dizzy old bats who haven't got a clue what the deal is. They can give me money just like everybody else. You don't know her. She would have gotten really upset if we hadn't taken it. She wants to believe what she wants to believe." "We're not here for kicks, I insist. "We got sent here by a judge. If we got caught accepting money from the residents, we could get a lot more than community service." Bear rounds on me in genuine amazement. "You don't even have to be here, man. You made us bring you." I'm stubborn. "Give the money back." Aaron tries to be reasonable. "The museum pieces in this dump, well, they'll forget their own some saggy butts if they're not attached. By the time the doors closed behind us, I guarantee you this Cloud 10 forgot that we were ever even here. If we go to her and try to straighten this out, it'll be like showing her how crazy she is. You want to be responsible for that? I know he's snowing me. That means if you snow somebody, it means you're kind of lying to somebody, kind of telling a fib. But he's also kind of right. Top of page 78. I doubt we could complain to Mrs. Swanson that she just tipped the community service guys, but even if we could, she'd be embarrassed and upset and probably more confused than before. Well, we should give that money to charity, I mumble. Done, Bear agrees. It's going to my favorite charity, the Take Bear to Lunch Fund. Who's up for pizza? We all laugh, but I'm laughing a lot less than those two. The whole thing leaves a sour taste in my mouth, and pizza is the last thing I'm thinking about. We stop in to see Nurse Duncan so Aaron and Bear can get their timesheets signed. I'm not technically on community service anymore, so there's no timesheet for me. Then we're heading for the pizza place like nothing ever happened. I keep looking at Bear, expecting to see the 20 growing orange and burning through the pocket of his jeans. I can't explain it, but the more they goof around, tripping and shoving each other, the less appetite I have for lunch. You okay, Ambrose? Aaron tosses at me in concern. You don't look so hot. I'll just catch up with you guys later. I pound back in the direction of Portland Street. I hang a left and sprint up to the assisted living residence and then dash in the sliding door and straight up to room 100. I put a fistful of crumpled bills from my pocket and fish out a 20. Aaron's right. I'd never be able to explain to Mrs. Swanson why I'm giving her money for what she could see only as no reason. No, my plan is simpler than that. I'll slip it right under her door. When she notices it, she'll just assume that she dropped it. So now Chase he's using his own money to pay back the lady that they refer to as Cloud 10, because they think she's kind of up in the clouds. Not making a lot of sense. And so Chase is really trying to do something right. As I squat down and pass the bill through the gap between the door and the carpet, it occurs to me that if anyone sees me, it'll look like I'm the one doing something sleazy, not the one making it right. Luck is with me, though. I'm able to return the 20 unobserved, meaning nobody saw him. No, not return, I remind myself. I'm out $20 in this deal. I feel a little resentful when I picture Aaron and Bear feasting on the pizza that I am essentially paying for. But it's a small price tag for being able to sleep at night. As I make my way out again, I pause in front of room 121, the Medal of Honor guy's room. I squint at the small plaque on the wall. Mr. Julius Solway. The door is open a crack. I catch a glimpse of Mr. Solway struggling across the room on his walker. Suddenly, a baleful eye is glaring at me through the opening. You're back, Mr. Solway's raspy voice growls from inside. What do you want now? My instinct is to flee, but my curiosity gets the better of me. Which war was it? I asked the old man. You know, the one where you won the medal? The Trojan War, he barks. Remember Achilles? I was the one who got him right in the heel. And that's an illusion. It's alluding to a Greek myth that we've read before. You know what he's talking about. Okay, sorry. But he's being sarcastic, right? He obviously did not fight in the Trojan War, because that's like thousands of years ago. He was just being sarcastic. Obviously. You remember Achilles? I was the one who got him right in the heel. It stings, but I say, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. And I start away. Korea, he calls after my retreating back. 1952. Page 80. I turn. Well, it's an honor to meet you, Mr. Solway. You must have done something really heroic. Everyone did, he replies gruffly. A lot of brave men are buried there.
They're the heroes. I'm just the one they picked to hang the bauble on.
To hang the medal on. I can't help asking, what'd you do to earn the medal? I mean. I can still only see one eye, but it's impossible to miss the flash of impatience.
I stood on my head and spit nickels. Listen here, smart guy. When you get to be my age, you don't always remember the details of every single event in your life. But I don't expect a young punk like you to understand that.
And he closes the door. Old people are supposed to have wisdom, but Mr. Solway is definitely wrong about me. I've already forgotten more than he'll ever know. Wow. What do you think about Mr. Solway? He was pretty grouchy at the end. Why do you think he wasn't warmer to Chase? Do you think there's a history between the two? Do you think maybe he's just a salty guy? Do you think there's a possibility for a friendship here? I don't know. We probably ought to tune in. All right, guys, that's it for Chapter 9. I hope you enjoyed it. That was kind of a long one. Sorry about that. But we're going to move on now to Chapter 10. See you soon.